Let's do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, welcome to the Hunters Hub. This is your host, Fortuan. We are a video game podcast born of the Monster Hunter community. We have a lot of Monster Hunter to talk about tonight, but before we get to that, we have a quiz. So welcome Sasha, who's going to be here for the quiz portion, but not the Monster Hunter portion, because life is crazy, and also she doesn't have much to say about Monster Hunter.
Yeah. And life is crazy, for sure. And I was up super late watching Stranger Things, which I hope everybody else was as well.
I will get into it. I've just been busy doing other things. I'm actually going to probably rewatch the first couple episodes I started with because I wasn't super paying attention to them. So I'm excited. I saw part of it last night actually when Chance and I were playing. We were playing together in the living room. That's how I've been playing Monster Hunter. Is like because Chance can't connect. Like he doesn't have a Ethernet connection to his Switch, so he has to be downstairs doing the Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi isn't good enough in his room. So we've just been doing like online play together, like on the couch together, and that's why I haven't been online with other people aside from kids and crazy stuff going on. But mom and dad were watching one of the episodes of Stranger Things, so I've seen a portion of one of the later episodes that I haven't seen yet, just because it was on. But because, like I said, life is crazy, and I'll just go ahead and tell the audience, I had a grandmother that passed away this week, and so my parents have been doing like all the planning and helping out and stuff. Thankfully, I got to see her before she passed, but I'm good. Everything's good. I'm not like super upset about it. We knew it was going to happen once we got the diagnosis, which you guys knew about. Told you guys about that. So yeah, been a pretty busy week. Work was also crazy busy. I was in West Virginia and back on Thursday or Wednesday, I think. And then on the way back, we got called into a job because we were 10 minutes away from it. So we're like, oh no, which is still an hour away from home. So he's like, no, we're not going in. No, we're not. It's just Chance and I. No, we're not going in. And then like we got the call. I was like, dude, it's literally says Jackson 10 miles. We might as well go. It's just more money.
Yeah.
So that was a solid 11 and a half hour workday.
Nice.
So yeah, been crazy. Welcome Ace, who's going to be here for the whole show tonight because Malzeno's sitting on his mic.
Unless if the afore discussed cum blasted chicken sandwich decides to strike me down, but
yeah,
I'm feeling fine so far.
Yeah, the super mayonnaise to chicken sandwich from Burger King. Yeah, Burger King's kind of like my go-to fast food restaurant because the girls like it so much. So
yeah, like I said, that it looked like there were a bunch of like new teenagers there. So I don't know if they like that much mayonnaise on their sandwiches, or maybe like as they were like squeezing out of the bottle or whatever, it just like the thing just like blew out, and they were like, "Hey, what? Fuck it." But that was
the lid came off and it just covers it in mayonnaise.
Yeah, that was an egregious amount because, like I said, when it got down to the third, and I was actually braving putting my hand on it, the actual chicken was like sliding between the two buns, the top and the bottom bun, and I was just like, all right, I'm done with the bread at this point.
Yeah,
like that's probably soaked up most of it, so I'm just gonna take the rest of the chicken and eat that and be done with this monster.
Oh yeah, we have a procedure now because they've messed up a couple times at Burger King. So they have a wraparound where you have to drive around the back and then you go back to the parking lot when you're leaving. So we just pull into a parking space, check all of our food, and then drive off every time. And as much as we've been there, it's not like they're a bad Burger King, but when they mess up, it's bad for Chance with his lactose intolerance and his in general mayonnaise intolerance. Like he just can't take it. So we have to check everything. And we've had stuff like they didn't give us fries a couple times, so we had to go in like, hey, these are meals. There's no fries here. And they're like, oh, we're sorry. Like I just don't expect a high level of quality from
Mhm.
them.
Yeah, I mean, I usually don't go back because I usually don't check. There's really never been any super egregious time that I've had with ordering fast food.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I just sort of accept the fact that it's fast food,
Right.
and if if uh if something I ordered got left out, I'll just consider that as a happy accident because it's fast food and I probably should be eating less of it anyways. So,
Yeah, fair, fair. It's just hard to find anything open after 8 o'clock these days in Chillicothe. Like even the Taco Bell
mhm.
closes at 8 now because of COVID.
Oh jeez.
That doesn't even make sense.
I,
Yeah,
we
even
have the
like some of
worst
ours are.
Taco Bell in the world now. Like we went there after a couple times because this is after we do the card league on Wednesdays. We always hit up something because it's like gotta get dinner on the way home because we didn't eat dinner because card plays takes place from like 4 to 8. So like, what are you gonna eat dinner in that time? So
Mhm.
I'm not eating dinner at 3:30. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing that. um, so like, we had to find something to eat on the way home, and Taco Bell was like a good solid like, yeah, and it's really close. It's on the way out, and they can't even keep staff open long enough to make it past. I think for a while they were closing at 7. Then they started closing at 8. I think they're up to 10 now, but like we've been like wronged by that Taco Bell so much that we just don't go there anymore. Like we go through the I used to love it a lot, but when I was still drinking pop, but Dad and Jones really love the Baja Blast that Taco Bell has, and
Mhm.
they've just been out of Baja Blast like 4 times we've went there. So it's like, why even come? Like, why are we here? So
Yeah. Coming back from work Thursday night, both being ravenous for food and then ravenous for Monster Hunter, since I made the good employee decision and just left my Switch at home. Um, Andrea, obviously being pregnant, has cravings too, so uh, I was gonna pick up Taco Bell, the one near my workplace's office.
mhm.
Um, I pulled in and waited for her to text me what she wanted. Uh, and there were 3 employees standing outside. I pull around to the board, the menu board, and an automated message comes on telling me that it's closed. So then I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just go to the one by our house, and then that should be fine. I get to that one. The open LED light is on in the window, and there's employees still inside. I pull around, the menu board is still on and lit up, and one of the employees comes on and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're closed." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just go to Quick Trip and I grab an assortment of food from there, and I'm just like, "Fuck it, no, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere else for Taco Bell. I'm too
Mhm.
close to home. I want to play Monster Hunter and eat some food." So
Yeah, Taco Bell
that was my
is
fun
their
Taco Bell
thing.
experience.
I've never enjoyed Taco Bell that much. The only thing I get there is a quesadilla, and it's not even really that exciting.
I mean, they're decent enough when you just want something quick that has like serviceable taste.
Hmm.
Like it's nothing compared to obviously actual like authentic made Mexican food and actual tacos and stuff. Like um we lately have sort of gotten into burrito tacos when we have gone out to places.
Hmm.
Because we went to Milwaukee for a show, and we went to a local like taco place that has like a whole bunch of different kinds of like burrito tacos. So that was an interesting first experience because I got like chorizo, and then you dip it in um, the beef broth in it.
Hmm.
It added like a lot of flavor to the chorizo, and I was definitely satisfied with that. And then I had a taco that I had left over, so I put that in my my hoodie pocket during the show, and then reheated it when we got back home. Made sure to give that a solid 2 or 3 minutes in the microwave to kill anything that might have gone wrong with it. And then we went down to Chicago a couple weeks ago for the Supernatural convention, and there was after one of the days there was a local taco place that they had there that had burrito tacos, and I was like, yes, just give me. So ordered those again, and that was very satisfying to have at midnight.
All right. Well, so we have quiz show number 8 to do tonight. Ace is going to try to defend his title against Sasha.
He's probably gonna do pretty well. I have much time.
I don't know about that. I think it's gonna be a slog until we get into the modern era, and then it's gonna be maybe a close battle, and then I'm gonna slip up. I feel like.
So this is gonna be a weird one because none of these years have been done before on the show. Now, also we're pulling in something from the 80s. So, and we're going to the earliest year that I will do on this show, because everything before this, it's not significant. I'm sorry, Atari, but it is not something that I'm familiar with or comfortable enough to talk about, and or of course I don't just do games I know, but you guys we're not going to talk about Atari games. What is there to talk about? Maybe E.T. Hey, do you know that there's a landfill full of E.T. cartridges? Because they way oversold that game. It caused the video game crash of the early 80s.
I mean, the modern equivalent to that would be all the Fallout 76 cases that I've seen still rotting in the local Walmart game case.
Oh yeah, I've seen some marked down to $5 sometimes and stuff like that.
And see, I didn't know until I watched Internet Historian's video. Apparently, there's not even a disc; it's just a DLC code because it's all internet. So I'm like, what even was the point of any case, whether plastic or steelbook? That's just so wasteful, in my opinion.
As a person who still likes to buy physical games because A, normally they're cheaper, and B, I like the collectible aspect of it. I mean, if I could, I'd point the camera at my stack of Switch games, which is now 2 different stacks because there's so many. That's still half of my library. The other half is still digital. I don't even have a Monster Hunter Rise physical, and I collect Monster Hunter Rise games physically. So now I did have a chance to get one, and I bought it, but I bought it as a gift to a friend for his birthday. Yeah, I seen Steelbook. Yeah, I know. I just went for the download code. So, but anyways, we have some interesting years to go through. 1985, 1993, 1999. And then 2007 and 2015. So this is very stacked on the early end, but I was sort of filling some gaps that we haven't done yet. With the 80s being an easy one because we've never gone before 1990 before. But I wanted to get in some old NES games that we don't hit very often. But I feel like NES has some notable titles we should be able to talk about. And beforehand, there's other things that... There was more than the NES and video games in the 80s. There was also PC games that have lived from those times too. So, without further ado, Ace, you are the reigning champion. You get to pick whether you go first or not. And I'm not going to explain the rules because if you're here with the show, you want to know them, you'll figure it out as you go along. I do that every time. We're on the 8th episode.
Sure. And in honor of Bo go first as I am the white guy, and we can start off with 1985. He has a song in the outtakes called 1985, and part of the chorus is "Oh, white guy, 1985, white guy,
I thought you were
1985."
I thought you were going with a nice chess reference because chess, the white side always goes first. But no. Bo Burnham. Okay.
No,
I mean, I feel like the obvious
sort of enjoy
1985
chess.
reference is Bowling for Soup.
Yeah, I sing that all the
that
time.
too. But Bo Burnham is like
With U2 and MTV
one of my
and
favorite
two kids in
comedians
high
lately.
school to
So.
tell her that she's not cool. 'Cause... Sorry, I like that song too much. So, starting with Bowling for Soup's 1985. Game A, B, or C? Ace.
Oh, see, because now I'm trying to think of a lyric that that starts with A, B, or C. But I can't do it, so I'll just start with A.
All right. 1985, first clue. This widely populator. See, I told you it's been a while. It's going to be me reading this. All right. This widely popular educational game first released with a copy of the World Omnimac and the Book of Facts.
I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark.
Okay.
Since it said World Omnimac, I'm gonna go guess geography related stuff. So I'm gonna guess Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
That is correct for 3 points.
Yeah.
Ace taking an early lead.
All right, so I guess we'll just pick which Nintendo game I'm gonna get wrong.
My 30 minutes / earlier today beforehand studying paid off a little bit.
All right. Well, we have 2 clues to talk about on that one, and you guys were expecting no clues left. All right. So Sasha,
Well, that's probably going to be like the only one that I know so, for that year at least.
Sasha, you have game B or C to pick from.
I'll take C.
Okay. This launch title racing game was one of the best-selling games on the NES.
Launch title racing game. I'll take the second clue.
All right. While tracks were fairly simple, from left to right, the hills and mounds are what made this game more exciting.
I'm just gonna guess Road Rage.
Road Rage is not quite right. Would you like to steal for 2 points, Ace, or go for the third clue?
I don't have a clue. I feel like this might be a game that Scott the Woz covered on one of his videos. I guess I'll go for the third clue and maybe see if that sparks anything.
All right. The last clue. Based on the popular motorsport motocross racing, the pixelated character on the box art can be seen popping a wheelie.
Yeah, I have no clue.
There's some clever clues hidden in this one.
Moto Madness.
No. The correct answer is Excite Bike.
I've played Excite Bike 64. I think it's the only one of that franchise I've played.
I've not at all.
I've never played one. But it was apparently a very popular NES game. And I played an NES since I was 4. So just didn't play that one. Alrighty. So that is 85. You guys are out of the probably worst year. But, you know.
Isn't there supposed to be 3 for each year, or are we just skipping the third?
We have to skip the third
'Cause
because there's
wasn't
not
that
a
two?
third person.
We do our PVE at the end.
Yeah, remember the PVE?
Oh,
Yeah, because that's what makes it. I mean, I guess we could stick on a year, but it would. I'll leave that up to you guys.
I
Do you want to
it's
alternate
fine.
and
I
do
just
all the
forgot, I
questions
guess.
between us, or do you want to keep the PVE things just for fun? I don't think it's a bad idea to alternate between because it still end up being an even number. I would think, right? Like, well, no, because it's 3 per 5, so it's 15. So now we would have someone. The first
I guess
person
I'd,
would have an advantage of starting on. Um, yeah, you would have an advantage of having an extra game to guess where you start. But
like I said, I forgot, so it's fine. We can
okay,
skip third questions. Not a big deal.
I don't know. I had to come up with that on the fly, and we've stuck with it since we didn't get a third the past couple times. Okay, so 1993, Sasha, game A, B, or C.
I'll take C.
All right. Game C, 1993, first clue. This Disney game, based on a popular movie at the time, was developed by two different developers, Virgin Games and Capcom.
I'll take the second clue.
All right. As both versions follow the events of the movie, as much as a 90s platformer could, the Sega Genesis version and the Super Nintendo versions differed wildly from both level design and whether the hero had a sword or not.
Aladdin.
That is correct for 2 points. Aladdin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I figured it was Aladdin, but I was like, the Little Monster Hunter.
The Little Monster Hunter.
Just mash together Mermaid and Monster Hunter, just because.
What?
But yeah, as soon as you said sword, I was like, yep, it's definitely Aladdin.
Yep. I was just waiting for some kind of clue to narrow down a Disney movie for me.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Ace, you have A or B for 1993.
I'll go with B.
B, okay. 1993, B, the first clue. Traditionally, JRPGs have turn-taking combat. However, this one featured more real-time battle system, and however, it's still considered a JRPG. Yeah, I know. Sasha's like really like, oh boy, I'm glad Ace got this one.
I'm not sure if I have the right year from what I remember. I'm just gonna take a stab in the dark. Is this Final Fantasy VIII?
No, this is not.
Ah,
So, Sasha, would you like to take a guess for 3 points or move to the second clue?
You could go ahead and give me that second clue.
All right. Second clue. Many JRPGs were on the SNES, but not many have the iconic box art, such as the gigantic tree with vibrant red birds.
wait.
I'll take the third
I
clue.
may know what this is.
All right. The third clue. Not many Americans knew this was a sequel to the at the time to the Mana series, since it was marketed as part of the popular Final Fantasy series by Square.
I feel like I'm gonna really anger some people who are really into these kind of games. Oh man. Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, it's not a bad guess. No, it is not Chrono Trigger though. It is Secret of Mana is the
Yeah.
correct answer. Okay. So that is it for 1993. We are moving on to 1999. So we are back to Ace picking first, back to Ace picking first.
I'm going with C.
Oh, see, that's dirty.
Ruin Sasha's tactic.
All right.
I'm always going for C
Game
for some reason.
Game C.
When in doubt, you pick C. That's how I got a master's degree.
she's like, that's like with the Scantron tests, right? It's always C.
Yeah.
All right. So 1999. Clue number 1, Game C. This serious zombie survival horror game had its fair share of humor as well. From characters like Hunk, the unintentional funny neck-breaking character, to the intentional funny Tofu, a giant takeout Chinese box.
Not sure if I have the right year, but is this Zombies Ate My Neighbors? Or My Neighbors Were Eaten by Zombies, or whatever it is?
It is not that. So, Sasha, can you steal for 3?
Mm. Serious zombie survival horror. I'll take the second clue.
All right. Capcom took direct inspiration from the antagonist for the antagonist Nemesis based on the T-1000 of the Terminator series robot.
Can you read that again?
Okay.
Because I feel I
Capcom
think I don't.
took direct inspiration for the antagonist, Nemesis, based on the T-1000, the Terminator robot.
Resident Evil 2?
That is not correct. It's Resident Evil 3, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Close. All right. Sasha, you get to pick game A or B in 1999.
Man. All right. I'll go with A.
A? Okay. I'm so glad.
Oh, it was 1993
Yeah.
for Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah, you got tripped up on your research there. Yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't sure if I had the right year, but I know
fine.
that was in what I studied.
Yep. All right. 1999, Game A. Only released in Japan despite being entirely in English, this PS1 game was an early auto runner, a style of game that became more popular as a cell phone game later on.
I'll take the second clue.
Okay. While many games today are criticized for advertisements, the game itself was an ad for a soft drink, and to save money, the developers just used commercials of Mike Butters drinking this soft drink.
Oh, I think I know.
I have no idea. I'll take the third clue.
Okay.
Oh.
Third clue, featuring the Japanese superhero mascot for Pepsi. He would run and jump, avoiding obstacles in a rush to save a person from being thirsty and handing them a Pepsi.
I feel like I'm just gonna put together some random words and hope that it's right. Pepsi Man?
Pepsi Man is correct for 1 point.
Yes!
the Game Grumps played this, and it's like one of the most ridiculous brand games ever.
I have never heard of it.
It's become kind of a cult game as a result. Not just them, the completionists doing it, some other YouTube personalities interacting with this game. Yeah. I'm a little behind on my points because every time we don't get a point for a game, I forget to record it.
Yeah. Sasha, that game is crazy. He's like in a blue and silver leotard. And he's just fucking running everywhere. He's like going through suburbs, going through construction zones. He's running through the desert, running through canyons and shit with these bundles of logs that roll that you have to jump over or slide under.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna have to check it out. For some reason, my brain can't stop picturing the Jack in the Box guy. So
it's along those levels. It is a crazy looking game. I didn't know. It's Morg. He changed his name. So Morg's guessing along with us. in chat.
Huh.
Awesome. Glad to have you here, Morg. All right. Although you should check your Discord. I messaged you, buddy.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
All right. So we are moving on from 1999. Sasha, your first pick again. I'm right about this, right? Like I keep confusing myself.
Yes.
2007. Game A, B,
I'm
or
going to pick
C.
C.
All right.
C.
Game C. First clue. Set in the Holy Land during the Third Crusade during the year 1191, so 1191, the game takes place during real historic events.
Man. Okay. 2007.
Teacher.
Assassin's Creed.
That is correct for 3 points.
Yep.
I've never played any of those games,
I'm surprised.
so I feel
They're kind of
really proud of myself.
That's kind of not exactly, but kind of up your alley, I would think. It's not as dialogue heavy, but
I think you'd like them.
I think you would. All right. That's my second favorite game of the series. My first favorite is Assassin's Creed 3. And I don't care, all you Assassin's Creed 3 haters. Having a Native American protagonist is key for me. All right. So, Ace, game A or B?
I'll go back to A.
All right. 2007, game A, Clue 1. This sequel, developed by Sony Santa Monica, is considered by some one of the best video games of all time and the best video game sequels, winning Game of the Year in the Golden Joysticks Awards of 2007.
Maybe you should have looked at some of the entries a little bit harder. I'll go for a second clue.
All right. Second clue. While it's the second game featuring the Ghost of Sparta, it is actually the sixth chronologically in the series.
God damn it. Obviously a God of War game, but I have no fucking clue which one.
Ace has got his thinking face
God
on.
of War 2? 3?
Okay, which one's your answer?
3?
God of War 3? That is not correct. Sasha, do you have a steal for 2 points?
God of War 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ace.
I've only played the PS4 God of War.
Gotcha. All right. Sasha, 2 points on that one. Okay. Moving right along to our final year, 2015. Ace, your first pick, game A, B, or C. By the way, you have a 5-point deficit now.
Yeah. Like I said. I'll go with A.
Game A. All right. 2015, game A, Clue 1. In this popular survival horror game, the player is sent to a fictional village within the Middle East to investigate an enemy-filled quarantine zone.
Is this Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil Biohazard?
I mean, they would be the same game because they were called the same thing, but that is not the answer. Sasha, do you have a steal for 3 points? Or would you
No,
like
I'll
a
take
clue?
the second clue.
All right. The game features an open world zombie wasteland that during the day they are slow and clumsy, but during the night they become highly aggressive.
Oh, is
Dying
this?
Light.
Dying Light is correct for 2 points.
God damn it!
Just that close.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ace. I'm sorry. So Sasha,
Meh.
game A or B?
A.
Sorry, not A. B or C. Sorry.
Oh, then C.
C.
Definitely C.
All right. 2015 game C. Clue clue 1. Sorry. Man, I have been so close to saying the name of the game every time I say this beginning part. Every time. Oh, man. I don't know what's with me today. All right. So, first clue. High praises and many fans came to the series, but nothing like the overwhelming sales and support and awards for this third installment.
And the second clue.
Okay. Based on the popular Polish series of stories, the game takes place after the books as a pseudo fan fiction that ended up circumventing the original book's ending and being accepted as canon stories.
Well, I do not accept it as canon, and it's The Witcher 3.
And that is correct for 2 points. All right. So going into the final Jeopardy. Ace, you're at 3.
Yep.
You had a strong lead and nothing else after that.
Like I said, I did not expect to have one in 1985. Got it, and then the rest was just kaput.
Sasha,
No,
you
it's-
had 12. So Ace, this is not possible unless she bets everything and loses. So
I'm not going to bet everything because even if I did, I still won't beat Chauncey's high score, so it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk.
okay, this game is from 1993 by the rule.
Oh, see, I'm definitely not betting at all.
So go ahead and write down your bets. Ace, you have 3 points. Sasha, you have 12. However many you choose to bet with. And let me know when you got that written down, and we will do the all right. And we will do the question, and then we will go to the Jeopardy time for you guys to think of the game after I do the question, and go from there. I guess Ace is getting to his notes app or whatever he's doing.
He's getting his calculator out. He's figuring it out.
It just isn't fucking being nice to me right now.
Yeah.
Small font it is. Oh wait, no, there we go.
You know, now that I understand that Morg is in the chat, his username makes total sense because he used to have all these crazy dinner party food things he would talk about. All right, so you ready? Okay, here's the clue. Many Zelda fans hadn't played this title. It was on the Game Boy and not a mainline story game. It did, however, sell well, and many Zelda fans became to recognize the scene of a giant egg on top of a mountain. Today, many more players have engaged in the game, and partially thanks to the new Nintendo Switch port of the game 29 years later. All right, so Jeopardy time. Go ahead and go. Ace is ready. He has shown that he is ready.
Yeah, I mean, I just put some bullshit down too, so let's just.
Oh, mine's not bullshit. It's the right awakening. Or the
I mean,
right.
Mine is.
Okay, so go ahead. Tell me what you got. Ace, you are correct. That is technically a title, so you're wrong. So you go down to 7. However, Ace can't get that many points. So Ace, how much did you
I
bet?
go to 6.
You go to 6.
3.
So you lost by 1 point today for Zelda Link's Awakening. Fun fact, I borrowed this remake from Chance last Sunday and beat it this week just before getting Monster Hunter. So like I actually just played this game this week. I was like, oh,
Nice.
it appeared on the quiz. So, Sasha, you have taken the belt back. Next month, Ace, you can try again.
See, I was ready. I think it was I was ready for it to be Zelda. And then I was thinking it was going to be the CDI games, but then you said Game Boy, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's.
I wouldn't do that.
Awakening.
I don't think I could do
but
that.
CDI, I think, is the CDI games. I think were
They were 90s.
later, weren't they?
Yeah, but I think we're talking like 97, 98 at that time. Maybe early 2000s.
I think 99 because they were on one of the lists that I looked up for the years.
Oh, it could have been 99 then. Okay. Alrighty. So let's
Those
do
ones
the,
are hilarious, by the way, Sasha. You should watch the Game Grumps playthroughs of the what is it? Wand of Gamelon and Zelda's Adventure or whatever it is.
Okay. I mean, Game Grumps playthroughs are always pretty good, but that one in particular is good. Okay, so PvE time. Can you guys beat your scores working together? So the 1985 game that was not picked is game B. So first clue: this light gun hunting game came packaged with many NES systems.
Duck Hunt?
That is correct.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But for a second there, I had that thought of like, it
Like,
can't
no
be
way.
that easy, can it?
Trust me, if we pick 1985 again, I'm probably going to have to be picking the same list because there was like 11 notable games, period. So like I picked 10 of the 11. Like 1985 is a pretty dry year, and that's partially the reason why I just won't go back further than that. All right. So 1993, the game that was not picked was game A. So here's the first clue. Control of the main characters only limited to specific scenarios, while most of the time the player controls flippers to launch the hero at their targets. I like the puzzled looks on you guys' faces. I got to none of the joke ones. You guys,
Flippers. Like, as controls or like as part of the
I
character?
worded it how I worded it.
Read it back. Read
Okay.
it back.
Control of the main character is limited to only specific scenarios, while most of the time the player controls flippers to launch the hero at their targets.
I guess a second clue.
Okay. Surprisingly, this game was made by the much smaller American staff of Sega, while the Japanese development team were busy with Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles.
With fucking flipper? What? Flippers?
Nothing?
This isn't Echo the Dolphin, is it? There's no way. Like, I'm thinking flippers. I'm like, it's not literal, is it? Like, what the hell is going on?
Is this Sonic Pinball?
I'll accept that. It's called Sonic Spinball. But yeah, Sonic Pinball. I'll accept that. Yeah, flippers are for pinball machines. That's what they're called.
I usually would just call them paddles, but okay.
No, I think that's their actual name is flippers.
I think they're flippers, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that was 93. 99. Game B was
I'd
not
just be an idiot and call them the thingies, slappy
the
thingies.
slappy thingies. So 1999. Game B. Clue 1. Rare at this time seemingly couldn't go wrong. While at the time this game came with praises and high reviews, many have looked back saying this was the death of collectathons. To summarize, it was made by Rare, it reviewed really well, but when people looked back at it, they didn't like it as much.
I think we might need a second clue, Sasha.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, second clue. The Nintendo 64 originally couldn't handle the size of the game and needed an upgrade. As a result, every copy of this game came with the expansion pack, an upgrade to slot into the N64, and a slot on top of the system near the front.
Okay, I think this is definitely one that I've seen Scott the Waz cover.
I like how a lot of your experience for these games are like people covering it on a YouTube channel. I'm not bashing that. That's some of my experience with games too.
Well,
But
Scott the Waz also like covers a lot of like
earlier stuff.
ancillary stuff and
Yeah.
like stuff that you wouldn't normally expect.
Yeah. No, this was a pretty mainstream game. I'll give you guys that. This was pretty mainstream at the time.
I just have
need
nothing
the third
coming to me.
clue.
Need the third clue? All right.
Yep.
I get to do one of my joke ones. I'm so excited. All right. Many games have iconic opening things, but not many top walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells, grape melon, oranges, and coconut shells. Take it to the fridge, Cranky. I love the cluelessness of that, and I. Oh,
Donkey Kong 64?
yeah, it's Donkey Kong 64.
Okay.
That is the DK rap that was pretty infamous at the time.
I am zero familiarity with Donkey Kong series. So
Same.
Yeah.
that was lucky that I saw that on the list.
I knew chat would know that one. He talked about that game a lot. Yeah. That was a game of his. All right. 2007 game B was also not chosen. You guys are good. You're getting every game, so you're getting points.
In contrast to my actual performance. Yay.
I think we're going for Sasha's score at this point. Okay, so game B, 2007. First clue. This first-person shooter spawned a whole series which currently lies dormant. However, 2K could revive it at any point. Sorry, first clues are always supposed to be vague.
Well, I know it's not Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Actually,
So I know that was on the list for this year. Is this Crisis?
It's not Crisis.
have an idea, but I'll take the second clue.
Okay.
I also have a secondary idea.
Okay. So second clue. The protagonist finds himself in the ruined underwater city of Rapture, which is supposed to be an isolated utopia. Obviously, something went wrong.
BioShock.
Yep. BioShock. Yep. All right. This is an interesting trend. So, just before we get into this, this isn't true for the last year, but the first 4 years, when we've done this last time, you guys didn't pick the same games. So, like when I just clear things out, I just didn't make everything zeros for the this PvE thing, right? So I have a like a history thing here, and you guys have picked the same games, like A and C, B and C combination of the same years, a lot. So that's funny. I mean, you do always pick C though, Sasha. This isn't the case.
Yeah, and he always decides to mess with me at some point
Right.
in the game.
So game B, for 2015, the release of this game to worldwide audiences when the base game never released outside of Japan caused a common misconception that many other titles released, that the only titles that released outside of Japan were expansions. Had to word that a little differently.
Sounds like a Nintendo game.
Is this Monster Hunter Generations?
No. Okay. All right. So, second clue.
Sure.
All right. 2 new weapons were added to the series with this title, while many games since have released the Insect Glaive and Charge Blade have been newest weapons still.
Oh,
I will give you my guess because I don't know.
this is 4/4 Ultimate.
Yes. Yeah. 4 Ultimate is the one that started the rumors that we only ever got expansions in Monster Hunter, when it is only 4 Ultimate the only time that we only got an expansion. That's what that vague first clue was. Second clue, as someone who knows Monster Hunter, they know it's 4 Ultimate the moment you get there. So 2. All right. So how did we do against ourselves? We got 3, 2, 5, 6, 8, 10. You were 2 points short of your original total, Sasha. And you beat yourself by 7, Ace.
Whoop-de-doo.
Alrighty. So are you ready to hear the clues that were missed?
Yes.
All right. So for Where in the World the Carmen Sandiego, we did not get clue 2 or 3. Clue 2 was gameplay involved investigating a heist and learning clues about where in the world the next crime was going to be committed.
I mean, that.
Yep.
If I hadn't already suspected based on like the sort of geographical hint,
Right.
that would have just blown it out of the water.
Right. And clue 3, the first entry in the series led to a popular TV show introducing many American children to the large red hat and trench coat, would be the third clue. All right. So you guys got Duck Hunt on the first clue. So the next 2 clues were, in all 3 game modes, shooting the targets is the goal, and not shooting enough will result in a game over. The requirement of how many to shoot is closer to the total with each subsequent round. So you got to get more and more as time goes.
Mm-hmm.
And the last clue is, while the namesake of the game are the flying ducks, many fans connected with the loyal yet sarcastic dog. No points were made on Excite Bike, so we heard all of those clues. We got the Sonic Spinball on clue 2. The last clue is my jokey one. So, being a Sonic spin-off, pause for laughter, it puts Sonic in a pinball, at the pinball, fighting through a machine to stop it. Dr. Robotnik, much like the other video game characters, having their own spin, pause for groans, on pinball. Okay. We heard everything of Secret of Mana, because that was not got. We got it on the second clue for Disney's Aladdin. So the last clue was many characters from the movie Abu, Genie, Jafar, Jasmine, and the Sultan appear, but only the poor street rat is playable. Pepsi Man was made for the last clue, so we heard everything. We did all of DK64. We didn't. We didn't do the last clue for Resident Evil 3. You got it on 2. So, the last clue for Resident Evil 3 is, although many point to Resident Evil 4 being the first in the series to be action-oriented, this installment was purposely designed to have more enemies and stray more from horror into action. So it was directly telling you it was a Resident Evil series at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, God of War 2. This is why this hurt, Ace. I said the second game of this series a couple times. The first 2 clues.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I've only ever played the PS4 one, and like, I know that some of the games have like non-chronological names because there's like,
right.
Isn't there God of War Ascension?
Those all take place way before God of War 1, unfortunately. So
yeah, so like,
but
I would have
originally they came out
clue.
Right, but all of those came out after 3, between 2 and 3, or like after 3 or something like they were all like when God of War came out, it was 1, 2, and then all the bleh, and then 3, I think. So, the third clue that we didn't get was Kratos once again must face impossible odds, but this time as the demigod he's become. Using Athena's blades and other weapons, he wages war upon the Greek gods seeking vengeance. So, again, very direct clue. So the Bioshock, the last clue was some of the most iconic enemies in video games from this time are the box art's iconic Big Daddies, the diver suits with a drill, and their counterpart little sister, small creepy girls with dresses and bows.
Would you kindly?
Sure. I've never played the games, so I guess that's
well. That's spoilers to a game that's old. The like one of the main characters in the game uses "Would you kindly" to manipulate you through the whole entire game, to subtly manipulate you.
Operant conditioning.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. I assume it's the guy who made the city, the antagonist.
I actually haven't played the game. I've seen I've seen that on a list of.
Well, phooey on you then. Thinking I would get answers. All right. So for Assassin's Creed, we still had clues B and 2 and 3. To here because you guys got it on the first one. So the second clue was, while stealth is key to survival, the player was very adept at hand-to-hand combat with many enemies, using counters and lethal combos to slay them. Yeah. And then the third clue was Altair, the protagonist, is tasked with eliminating targets, often with his hidden blade strapped to his wrist, sacrificing his finger to conceal it. Assassin's Creed. It's pretty known about that series.
Mm-hmm.
So Dying Light was got on the second clue. So the last clue was featuring gunplay and parkour. This game, made by Techland and published by WB, sold extremely well and broke records for its type of game, defeating the previous holder in the genre, The Evil Within. So, it to date is the biggest selling survival horror game. For Ultimate was achieved on Clue 2. Clue 3 was most titles depict the flagship monster of the series on their cover. However, since the game was never released stateside, the base game's flagship monster, Gore Magala, appears on the North American box art instead of the dubbed Steve, aka Seregios, both of which appear in the latest title for the first time in the current generation of games. So both of them referring to, like, they're both in Sunbreak.
Yeah, I just got my years mixed up.
Yeah,
because that was also like when I was done with my sophomore year of college when I got back into the game. Also, when I moved up to Green Bay.
My first game that I got to dive in after having a kid was For Ultimate. CC was born October 2014, 2015, like February or January this came out, and it was the first time I was able to like play a game. Like as some people know, newborns are a lot of work.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. And The Witcher.
No way.
Yeah.
They don't just sit there and babble on in their little baby talk.
You'd be surprised, dude. You'd be surprised how many people think that babies are supposed to be fun and easy. For the record, to my girls, no, I don't like babies. I say that to them all the time because they love babies. Like, you liked me as a baby? I was like, I tolerated you. That's because you were mine. All right. I think we just needed the last clue for Witcher 3. So the last clue was while the combat and other systems were still not the best in the Western RPG genre, they were far improved in the Wild Hunt. However, the story, quest, and the world were highly praised, so much so that now a current Netflix series exists in no small part due to CD Projekt Red's work on to bring this Polish story to the world. So a lot of clues in that one to point at The Witcher 3, including using the subtitle of The Wild Hunt. Oh, man. All right, so you guys want to hear the games that were not picked? The whole list of 50 games that I found. So,
Yeah.
Sure.
for 1985, and of course you're going to hear the ones that we did pick. So, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, Super Mario Bros., Duck Hunt, The Oregon Trail, Ultima 4, Ice Climber, Excite Bike, Golf, Hogan's Alley, and Soccer. See how I had to pick some of those? It's literally golf, soccer. I
remember seeing those on the list too, and I was like, well, that's gonna be real fucking egregious if that's on the that's actually one of them. Because then I'm gonna be like thinking like, is it Madden? Is it like FIFA?
Nope, they're just called the name of the sport.
Just generic ass title.
So 1993, the choices were Doom, Mega Man X,
Yep.
Sonic Spinball, Secret of Mana, Super Mario All Stars, Zelda Link's Awakening, which was our bonus one, Kirby's Adventure, which was the first Kirby, in case you don't know, Star Fox, NBA Jam, and Disney's Aladdin. 1999, here were the choices: Super Smash Bros., Pepsi Man, Pokemon Snap, Ape Escape, Driver, Soul Calibur, Donkey Kong 64, Resident Evil 3, EverQuest, and Silent Hill. 2007, Lost Planet Extreme Condition, God of War 2, Bioshock, Assassin's Creed. As you saw, I roll all of them in a row on that one. Monster Hunter Freedom 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, The Orange Box, Hellgate London, The Witcher, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is Call of Duty 4. And 2015, the games that were almost there: Dying Light, Evolve, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, Bloodborne, Mortal Kombat X, Goat Simulator, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Splatoon, Heroes of the Storm, and Undertale. Yes, Goat Simulator came out in 2015, and it was a thing.
On one of the lists, I forget the year, I think it might have been 2007, friggin' Bloons Tower Defense showed up, and I was like, I don't think that's going to be on the list.
Alrighty. So that is quiz number 8 done. How do you guys feel about that one? I think that went a lot better than we expected, being a lot of older years. That was a high point game.
I think what I've learned is that on the older years, I should just not study.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I did better
Okay.
than
You did.
having a biased list of games in my head and then thinking it's gonna
Yeah.
be one of those and
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course there's always going to be my bias seeping in, right? Because
I mean, I did see Doom and expected Doom was going to be in this.
yes. However, my bias aside, Doom is a huge game in the industry.
Yeah.
So it had to be in there. It just didn't get picked.
I will
Um,
also say, Sasha, if you like Eldritch horror, Bloodborne is definitely one of the games to go to.
I've seen Bloodborne. My husband has played it.
yeah, I was gonna say this is along the lines of what her husband plays because he played Elden Ring.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, I've started Elden Ring, but didn't get very far, and then I started playing other stuff, and now Monster Hunter is taking over. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It certainly will be. Like I said, I hurried up and finished Link's Awakening before release day. I don't know how many hours I put in yet, but we'll get there. So, any comments to like anything that you like to see change before we do the next one, which will be number 9, and this is July, so the next one's August.
I'm good. I like the format.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, how do we feel about if we just have two doing that third game as part of the normal show? We could consider that.
Um,
That would give an advantage to the person going first, but steals still
unless
happen.
maybe if you wanted to do the third game as like a free for all, like just read the clues off with like a 10-second break in between the second clue and the third clue.
Sure.
And we just guess it.
Hopefully, though,
potentially,
we won't continue to have this problem. And we'll have 3 people participating. Um,
Yeah.
hmm
so this is just backup. Um, so yeah. Um, okay. So thank you, Sasha, for joining us. I don't want to kick you off, but it is Monster
No,
Hunter
you
time.
go
guys
on, get.
you guys have your discussion about Monster Hunter and have a good rest of your night. Bye.
See ya.
Have a good night. Get some sleep.
Don't forget to upload the audio.
I will not forget. Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Alrighty. So, the other part of our show tonight, we're going to be talking about basically Sunbreak. That's the rest of the show. So to lead off, Ace, you got this launch day, but you couldn't play till later in launch day. How far
No,
are you?
no, I got it launch day. Uh, I was able to do like an hour or two before I was like, I'm still really tired. I need to go to sleep.
Yes.
And then I woke up, played like one more quest, then I got ready for work and went into work. And
Okay.
then for the next 8 hours, I was like pining just to get back to play.
True. So how far have you gotten?
I have gotten into Master Rank 3, I believe.
Okay.
So I've gotten past Garen Golem. Um, let me just confirm that
So
since I'm right in the town.
you and I are
Yep, Master Rank 3.
probably in the same spot. I literally beat Garen Golem and then did a low rank quest, and then we started the show.
Nice. How did you like his fight? I think it's pretty interesting. He's huge, by the way, too.
He is huge. So Garen Golem being the first new monster that you fight, I would say Hermitar for people, some people is new, right? He's the introduction into G rank. Then you get
I
Blood
would say
Orange.
first non-subspecies or returning monster.
Yes.
New.
Yeah. That's, but then I'm saying like brand new monster, like original monster is Garen Golem.
Fresh minted.
Yeah. Blood Orange is unique, and it is worth mentioning him. He is a new monster, technically, because he is a subspecies that hasn't existed yet. So I don't discount him. The funny story is, me and crown hunting. Now you were right. So Hermitar was crown hunted within 2 hunts, within 3 kills. of
Mhm.
Hermitar, Daimyo Hermitar. Uh, and then Blood Orange, I didn't check and I haven't posted it yet. I keep forgetting to post it, but it's pretty early too. Like Chance and I both have those crowned, because I've only really been playing either by myself or with Chance, due to the
Mhm.
family stuff going on. So so have so
I mean, it definitely seems like with the dual quest, they either have it set to give you the crowns, or they have the odds dialed way up compared to
right, because you
you know
also have
what you
Hermitar
guys
crowned.
what you guys went through trying to crown on in base rise, because
Oh yeah, no, I'm
that
the only
was a
one that
horror
actually
show for you guys.
I'm the only one that actually finished it. Chance did not finish crown hunting, so
Mhm.
I would say, as much as it sucked doing like the 200 plus great boggies that we did, I don't think he was the worst. Like, he's
Mhm.
not a terribly difficult monster. We were still learning what was possible at the time, because dual quests and base rise were not the answer, for crown
Right.
hunting. So, but we didn't know that there wasn't any. And once I started doing this really weird, like, targeted crown hunting thing that I learned from some videos online, where you had to like test out every different kind of quest and see which one had the best ratio and then go after those quests. Unless you reset the game, then it reset the ratio and you had to find out the quests again. Like, I would say probably the worst one was Valstrax for me,
Mm.
based on the
Yeah, that's
level
fair.
of difficulty, and then also the fact that I think, I'm not positive, but I think I breached 100 getting him. Like, it was either him or Somnicanth that I went 167 with the
Mhm.
improved mechanics. I think Somnicanth was that. But I do remember Valstrax being just both difficult and also terrible to get. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I also finally bridged away from using my go-to set that is pretty much all just Narga.
mhm.
Because now I've rearranged my set, and it basically just all hinges on what weapon I'm using, and then I slot out the talisman based on that, and that basically gets me what I need.
I have Heartbreaker 3 on my talisman. I don't think that's ever changing unless I find one that has like Focus 3, and some
Yeah,
Heartbreaker. Like,
my gems have mine usually have two slots of part breaker, and then I've been usually getting away with a piece of armor
I
that
don't
has part breaker.
I don't consider a set that doesn't have full focus or and part breaker. Like, I don't even consider it. I don't like it is not a possibility. So how long did it take you to upgrade your armor? Like, where were you in MR3 before you changed any armor, or um where were you?
I was in master rank 2, I
Okay.
think,
Same here.
before I changed, because uh, just based on the skills that were available, um, I just didn't feel like going for it, and
No.
like
Yeah.
I'm familiar enough with my set that I felt comfortable enough keeping it, despite technically having lower defense stats. But I mean, I
Yeah.
think I'm hovering still around similar defensive stats, but uh, not too big a deal. I mean, all the pieces that I currently have are upgraded to their max level, which is like, I think, what, like 3 levels right now?
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 levels is what you can upgrade on some of the armor pieces until you start getting into further master rank, I believe. At
Probably, yeah.
least so far, that's been my experience. Um, I don't know. I enjoy my evade extender 3
Sure. I
and
mean,
part breaker. So
you get so far in the game, you know, learning how to play Rise on certain things. In that vein, I didn't upgrade until I found the Baroth armor, and the Baroth armor is had enough of the guard. What is it? The perfect guard, where you get the
Offense.
offensive guard.
Okay.
No, offensive guard. You're right.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
that I was like, ooh, I like that skill. We're going for it. So I did that, and I went full Baroth. But then I realized Mind's Eye 2 is a requirement for me as well. I do not like bouncing on Greatsword. If you do a big attack and you hit the wrong thing and you bounce on Greatsword, you're done. You'll get hit. You know, so Mind's Eye 2 is a requirement for me. 2 or better. So what I ended up doing is Baroth. I was slotting in Mind's Eye, and then looking around, I saw that the G rank Roggy set, the gloves give you Mind's Eye too, and also poison resist too. So I was like, Mind's Eye too. Let's do it.
This is going to be an interesting episode. Because right now with the discussion, I can hear like frogs, I think, in the background of yours.
Mhm.
In the background right now, there's fireworks going off
Ooh.
for me. So
You can also probably hear my dog scratching at the door because she's not in here.
I haven't heard that. I hear the frogs though.
um. So, that being said, so we started off talking about Garen Golem. So like overall, what is your like good monster, great monster, amazing monster? Like there's no bad. I don't think he's a bad monster, but
I think it's great. I fought him with greatsword too.
same here, of course, because I only play great
Yeah,
sword.
I mean, I've been swapping back and forth so far because I started out with Insight Glaive,
Mm-hmm.
bounced around a hunting horn, long sword, great sword. So I'm just sort of spreading everything around right now. Um, yeah, I mean, it went pretty well. There were a few times where he came close to carding me, especially that his ultimate move where he like
Claps.
smashes his two
Yeah.
fists slash hooves together, and it has like a giant orb explosion.
Yeah.
That almost got me. And a few other times he almost got me, but I managed to stave off being carded.
He was
Also, I think
easier
it's
than I
interesting.
expected him to be, honestly. Like I took him down pretty quickly. Like I didn't expect that to go so well. You know what I mean? Like it's the first time you're
Well,
on the Citadel map, so I was exploring that a little bit, and then I walk in there, and I still finished sub 15. I was like, oh okay, that feels quick.
well, I think that's due in part because of his size.
Yeah.
Because I'd say it's easier to dodge him, but if you do get hit, it does hit for a lot usually.
I did get hit by the clap you were talking about, the sort of like ending combo thing where he knocks his fist together, and that did a sizable amount of damage. But I really didn't take a lot of damage before that. Like I got hit a couple times. Now I do have a fairly high defensive stat because Baroth armor also gives defense boost. So I'm sitting at like a defense boost level 4 or 5, which is gives you the percent bonus as well. So like a pretty high defense because of that set. So that might have been part of it, but it was it was probably 3/4 of my health when that thing hit, and yeah, it was a lot. It was a bigger hit than anything.
I think I was around 3/4 to maybe like 4/5 of my health gone. I mean, it's definitely easy to get out of the way of a lot of attacks when you have Evade Extender 3 on because, like, I can just roll away from most of it.
Yeah, I can't. I had to push block. I tried to push block it too. You can't push block that. You just get hit.
I wouldn't expect so.
Yeah.
I definitely had to relearn Daimyo Hermitar at first.
He's got
Because
some new stuff. He's got some brand new
yeah,
stuff.
he knocked me down pretty quickly. And I think I've carded to him at least once, maybe, in subsequent quests. On the first quest,
So
I was like, oh, okay, I need to get my shit together because I'm not doing well here, especially with that like switch up jump that he does, where he like does a little hop in the air and then twists it in midair and jams his claw down into the ground.
Yep.
And then also his rush up from the ground with his claws.
Yeah,
where he like does
that's
the
not
pin move.
new, but that's always
That's caught
bad.
me a few times.
That's not
Yeah.
new, but it's still rough. Like it's hard to, if you don't know it's coming, if you're not already running, like that's very hard to avoid because you can't block it. Like you just have to dodge well, and dodging won't always do it because that has a long hitbox. Like you can't dodge through it. Like you got to dodge out of it.
Right. Let's see. Blood Orange Bishaton and Bishaton are interesting.
Yeah.
I find their flop down attacks where they just like
Smash.
go completely flat on the ground.
Mhm.
Kind of unfortunate for them because that leaves them open to a lot of counter attack because of how
Right, but
how
if you get
slow
hit,
they are to get back up
if
from
you
that.
get hit by it, Bishaton when he does it usually is paralysis or poison, which can be very devastating of a hit when he does that. The Blood Orange, it's just a line of fire that goes across the ground, kind of like some weird napalm carpet bombing, but that can be very damaging,
Well,
especially if you don't have a good fire resistance. But like if you avoid it, yeah, he's just laying on the ground, like don't hit me, please.
That's why I say that because like I said, having evade extender 3 on makes it very easy to get out of the way of attacks, and oftentimes what ends up happening is that I roll out of the way and then I just immediately roll right back. And when he does that belly flop, I could just roll out of the way, roll right back, and then just start wailing on him. So it makes it easy to deal quite a bit of damage in that interval while it's down on the ground. So
Right. So, sorry, I'm typing something. The monsters haven't been too challenging yet, I feel like. However, I don't know. I'm like over preparing myself too. Like I'm still drinking like the demon drugs and armor drugs and the stuff like that, like before every quest, because they can hit hard. Any monster can hit hard. The even though I was prepared, I still found the Arzuris quest, the double Arzuris quest, very surprising because I was like, oh, these are hitting hard. Now, what I did do is I normally don't do this. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. I know. I'm just trying to set up things like we've been talking about. So, anyways, so I normally don't watch reviews for Monster Hunter because I had found out a long time ago most people A, don't know how to play the game, B, I don't agree with how they play the game and or don't really care to hear their opinion, or C, it's an echo chamber. Like I feel like there's nothing to be gained for me watching a Monster Hunter review. Like,
or
I'm sold.
Or D, in the case of the Iceborne review that I read and I guess in a certain sense became triggered by. They do the whole think of the monsters.
Yes. Yeah.
Train
That would be in 2019. Yes.
when it's a video game, and B, they aren't real because it's a video game,
Yes.
and C, video games don't transition to real life. Just like in the same way that they don't make you a mass shooter, they don't make you an animal abuser.
Mm-mm.
So let's just dispel this notion.
True. So I watched some reviews this time around, and it wasn't necessarily because I was like, oh, I'm worried about the game or anything. I was just curious because a
Mhm.
lot of people got this a lot earlier than we did. So I watched two people's reviews. I watched Super Rad and I watched Eric's. And
Mm-hmm.
both of them, I was more or less just sort of looking at, okay, so what's some things that I haven't really thought about or that kind of thing. And I will say, audience, if you're listening, how you probably have listened to Super Rad's content more than us because he's a lot more popular than us. But in case you haven't, he has a very decent review that I would consider something to check out if you're on the fence about Sunbreak. Um, it's a very non-spoiler review, which I enjoyed because I am still trying to keep somewhat spoiler free. I am
Mm-hmm.
taking it very slow in comparison to most of the community. And Ace and I are pretty on key because his busy lives or whatever. Um, I don't think you and I have been trying to take it slow, but just the way the life is so far. Um,
Yeah.
so I, uh, I, I just didn't like one of the things that I heard, and is that it's still super easy. However, I
I
also
need to run
heard,
to the bathroom.
sure, I'll just keep talking.
I'll be back.
However, I also heard that even though it is super easy, all the monsters are a lot faster. Um, and to be fair, I don't think that makes it super easy. So that's what kind of surprised me. The Arzoris quest is I didn't really have like I knew things are faster, but like that does make it more difficult. Like I had to. There is not a lot of downtime, and Arzoris especially is a slow monster. So having it go from whatever speed it used to be to how quick it attacks and doesn't rest between attacks as much now was quite a difference to me, like very different. Um, so that kind of spawned like my opinion, like real quick, of being like, okay, no, this is going to be tough. Now I've made it through. I've carded a few times, but I've not really had any super challenging fights yet. But I don't think you are in the early G rank quests or master rank quests. Um, I think it's supposed to be super challenging. But I can see how he can get there, especially with old monsters can surprising you with both new moves and just a faster speed and better combos. So it's looking like it's going to be quite a challenging time later on, even if it isn't right now. Um, I will say that I am doing my usual full clear of a rank of quests before I move on. So I'm doing a lot of similar hunts and sort of learning them pretty well. So like if you like for me, Blood Orange, I fought him the first time, but I ended up fighting him like 4 or 5 more times pretty soon after that. So I got to learn to fight pretty well, and you kind of stopped having any sort of trouble figuring him out pretty early on because you just fight it enough, you know the fight. So, and that's kind of the way it's been so far. I would say Garen Golem is the last thing I fought that was challenging. The only thing I have fought since Garen Golem was a low rank quest because making G rank gear, apparently some of the trees don't have, the weapon trees don't have a good enough node to go back to. So I was actually missing low rank parts to try to make a separate branch of a high rank greatsword. So kind of needed that. It's it's not uncommon. I mean, that happened a lot in Iceborne. A lot of people needed Geratido's parts by a lot, and they ended up having to go back to low rank to get those. That's kind of what's happening here. Boy, I'm glad you're back. I was almost out of monologue there. But what I was saying, basically saying is, the monsters got a lot faster as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And in seeing that in practice, I think the game in general is harder because of the monsters being faster. And I can see down the line that being a problem for difficulty. Not like a problem with the game. A problem is in like you're used to certain fights and now they're faster. So you're gonna have to relearn those fights. Like a master rank Valstrax, I think will be very troubling for me. Like,
well, we can always partner up. That way, you at least have some meat bodies to distract it.
I mean, I'm sure I could do it eventually, right? Like I did the advanced Valstrax on my own. Like, I'm not worried. I'm just saying, like, I think it is more difficult than people have been saying because we're not to that level yet. Like, as much as you make an Arzuros faster, it's more challenging. Yeah. Oh, did you see the meme I did, by the way? The Die Hard meme.
I don't think so. Is it on Twitter?
Yeah. So I made a meme that was like, there's a line in Die Hard. It's like, hey, come to LA, have a few drinks, we'll have a good time. Like, and he's crawling through a vent, sort of like muttering to himself, like how it's supposed to be a good time, yet he's like dealing with this scenario. So I was referencing that in the meme. So it's like, hey, come to Master Rank, you'll have a good time. Basically, when you get into the double Arzuros quest, I was not prepared for them to be that fast. I didn't cart, but like at the same time, I was like, this is harder than I expected. Like I was just expecting here to whap some Master Rank Arzuros and be done with this quest and out. And I was like, nope, I actually got to try. I didn't die, but them being that fast, I was like, ooh, there's not as much downtime. So stuff like that. How have you done every quest so far, or have you just been sort of key quests?
I've done everything in tier 1 or in Master Rank 1. I've got a handful of stuff in 2 to do, and then basically the rest of 3.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
I've only done Garen Golem yet.
Yeah, I just did Garen Golem. The only hunt I've done post Garen Golem was I did a low rank Somnicanth, because to get some of the master rank there's a split tree of Greatsword for Somnicanth, which I know is going to be Aurora Somnicanth because I can see it's an ice one. But the build point for Somnicanth isn't there. So I had to start at the base of the tree. And I didn't have to. The original Somnicanth Greatsword that is just sleep is there. You can build from that point, but you need fins. And I didn't have enough Somnicanth fins. So I started from the beginning of the tree, hoping that the upgrade had less fins. It does have less fins. However, I still don't have that many fins. So I went back to a low rank Somnicanth, cleared it in like 2 minutes, didn't get a fin, and then we came on here. I got ready to record. So I'm probably going to be farming some low rank Somnicanth for fins so that I can make a Somnicanth Greatsword down the line. So it's been...
I mean, I still at some point want to make the Anteca rack longsword. And that I need to go back and get I think just some pelts for. So
yeah,
there's definitely a bit of that I'll need to do as well.
So have you felt about the new mechanics so far, like switch skills? Do you use the switch skills?
How do you mean, like the active switching them?
Yeah,
or
do you actually skill swap during fights?
I tried it with the greatsword, but I don't know that I'm doing it right, or that I'm not sure what it changed with the greatsword. Is it like
You said it.
the
You
charge
you
attack?
you can set what changes what. Like so you can
Oh,
so you haven't messed
so
with it.
I'll probably have to go back to the tutorial for that to set that, because I mean, for the most part with the weapons, I have the switch skills set to what I already like.
Yes,
So
that's kind of
I
been
mean,
my point. Is that I've messed with it and I do it from time to time just to switch things up, right? But like,
mhm,
there's no reason why I don't want push block, right? My other one,
mhm.
I even set it to push block and it defaulted back to shoulder charge, and I'm like, no, I don't want this. I want the push block. I want to block. I don't want to take a bunch of damage, even though I'm
Mhm.
sort of pseudo pushing through it. Like so when you do it, which is just the wire bug button, so L2, and um and then X and A at the same time
Mhm.
does the switch, and then if you do that and press B, you get a free dodge. So I have used that once or twice to actually dodge out of something, because greatsword, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
get out of things. So it's either I block or I dodge, and if I need to dodge further, I have done that once or twice. Um, so there's that. But as far as like actually switching skills, no. I want to do what I did do, and I did get buffs to, so you know the thing I always use, the jump up and slash. I don't remember what they call it, but you bounce off of them and come down and slash. Everyone always uses something
Mhm.
else, and I was using that for a long time, and they super buffed that. It does more damage. It costs one wire bug instead of two now. Like I'm able to
Oh, I have probably one of my best greatsword combos in a while.
doing
I
that.
think it was on Garen Golm. I don't think on that. It was just a happy accident where he got put to sleep.
Mm.
And then I did the full three charge, and I think it was either 13 or 1500 damage, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I did one of those to him, and it was 1,500 damage. I didn't know what he was weak against, so I went with a poison greatsword, so I had no elemental advantage. I was just poisoning him. Um,
Hmm.
but my record right now, I think, was 1,986 damage on a single hit. So
Nice, nice.
I've been quite happy with the damage and the buffs, because Greatsword got buffed across the board. So there's been a lot of other buffs too, but Longsword got nerfs, which I thought was cool. Like, okay, yeah,
I mean, there's longsword is already
super
sort of
good.
known as the favorite, and
Yeah,
some people call it the weeb stick, others call it like easy mode. I mean,
I mean, I
it
had
already has
Cece use
essentially
it.
everything you. Huh?
I had Cece use it, and she
Uh,
tried to fight a Magnamalo today by herself, and she kind of felt overwhelmed. So like she couldn't finish it. She gets very upset if she starts to lose. It's something we're working on, but you know, I played for her and showed her around it a little bit, and I was like, I've not played Longsword in Rise since the demo for Rise, and I was able to pick it up
mhm.
really quick and sort of show her some ropes, like
Yeah, I mean, for
mid.
me, longsword,
Mm-hmm,
um, I'd say the switch skills are extra useful
mm-hmm,
on that, especially the one where you do two circular slashes and then it has like the after effect,
mm-hmm,
um, and then also timing out the counter
mm-hmm.
where you just absorb the damage and then counter with a one large slash.
Yeah.
Those two, I would say, would probably be the most useful of the skills to use for her. So
Well, she doesn't have Sunbreak, right? So she's not
they're
that.
in the original though.
They are
So
okay. Well, she's also not that far. We're doing like the 3-star Magnamalo Urgent is what she was doing.
okay.
So but she got overwhelmed. She didn't end up finishing the quest, and I tried to show her the ropes. She was just upset because she was
Hmm.
also upset with me because she wanted to buy a Minecraft mod, and I've already bought her 2 games this week. I'm like, no, I'm not buying you another mod. You got. She
Hmm.
wanted Monster Crown, so she got that, and she also wanted the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and it was on sale. I
Mm.
wasn't gonna get it for her, but it was on sale, and I was like, all right, fine. So she was making a fuss, and she's like, "Fine, I'll play Monster Hunter, and I'll do it by myself." And she was being all, "I'm gonna do this," and I was like, "Cool, do it." And I wasn't like being mean or anything. I was like, "Yeah, learn how to play, do good." And
Hmm.
she fell apart. I mean, she's only 7,
I mean,
so
yeah.
um, so far. I would say I've been having a pretty good time. Like I said, I have only really played with Chance at this point and by myself. Um, I know some people on the Discord have been wanting to play, and part of that is I don't want to leave Chance out. Like it wasn't until
Hmm.
today that he was able to play with other people because internet problems with his Switch, and
Hmm.
just internet problems in general in the house. You've known that. Like we don't have great internet sometimes. Although
Yeah.
since we got upgraded, we haven't had any problems. But he was still, I don't know, gun shy about it. So we just been playing locally in the living room. Um, he was giving me crap for progressing without me, but I was like, I mean, you were currently progressing without me with your friends as you were talking.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he was just again just giving me crap, not like he was being serious. Um,
Hmm.
but for the most part, we've been playing together. How do you feel about the follow requests? Have you done those yet?
Those I think are interesting. Um, well, it's the follower and then the what partner quest or whatever, because there's two
Yeah,
different versions.
they're basically the same thing. One of them you get to bring one person, and one of them you get to bring 2 people. Is essentially it.
Hmm. Yeah. I think it's kind of cool just to give people who are doing single player some options
Right.
other than just Palico and Palamute to be able to, you know, have at least a little bit of a breath, especially once you get later in the game and start dealing with some of the more difficult monsters. Because, I mean, I obviously haven't gotten to it yet, but like Valstrax, Luna, Garon, a lot of those seem like they're going to be pretty
Pretty rough.
okay, pretty quick. I was just watching Cappuccino because she was perched like she was going to jump on something or trying to jump down and just wasn't doing anything.
Hmm.
So I was like, please don't get tangled in the cords and pull like the laptop and everything down. Um, I mean, I think it's definitely an interesting way of like providing more variety in the game and giving people who like like you guys used to may not have the most stable internet connection some options to
Yeah,
progress and not necessarily get stuck on something.
for sure.
But
Yeah.
then again, those are only in their own tier. You can't do that for um, just the normal quests. So there is that too.
It might be a good learning tool. Here's how to fight the monster better, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, I think they you get some interesting insight into the characters. They're actually building characters for once in the game, doing these
Hmm.
quests. Now, granted, you get the generic sort of dialogue. Like I've had the same 2 people go on a quest a couple times, and you get the same beginning and ending dialogue between each other. Um, which is okay. It's not like you're and like I'm looking for some in-depth character development all the time in Monster Hunter, but there's more than there was. Like you're actually getting to know some of these
Hmm.
people. Um, like I actually enjoy Dame Fiona. What's her name?
Fiorane or something like that.
Fiona. Yeah, I'm actually enjoying her as a character. She seems actually kind of interesting for one, like for an NPC for once.
Hmm.
Um, like there's the other girl that is a bow gunner. Yeah, she's okay. Like, I'm not really. It's actually interesting to see some more than just surface personality that we usually get. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And those quests actually provide some context to that of like, hey, let's go out hunting and like, oh, I haven't been hunting in a while, so it's like there's actually some sort of like life stuff to
yeah,
it,
and they actually ride around on palamutes and move around the area too.
just like
So
you. Yeah,
they actually feel like they have a presence that isn't just sort of shallow, like I felt it was with Aiden in Iceborne with the Fatalis hunt,
yes, yeah. He's just sort of
because
there.
he's largely stationary between the ground and then moving to cannon position or
Yep.
bowgun or ballista position. If
Yeah.
he does, I don't even remember if he does ballista at all, but I know he does cannon at one point. I think.
It's been a long time. So
Yeah.
2020. I don't know. Um, the I don't know. Those seem kind of cool. I kind of enjoy the extra. I thought the palicos and palamutes would be leveling up more, and they don't. You get to unlock new skills and stuff, but you don't.
Mhm.
They don't level up any, which is okay. I do enjoy the new tool for the palamute that I got. That is like a silk bind attachment. So like
Mhm.
when you're riding and you knock them into a wall and they're bound by silk to the area and they can't fly away, and it's kind of a good opportunity to attack them. The dog
Mhm.
just shoots a bunch of silk at them and does that every once in a while now. Sort of like locks the monster in place. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm good. I like this. I took away the biting jaws that sort of like the dog bites them and leaves the jaws on there that keep doing damage over time. I took that skill
Mhm.
away for the soak bind thing, and it seems pretty good. Um, so, there's I'm trying to get back in the mentality of doing like the Argosy and that kind of stuff because I got to the point when I was crown hunting I didn't want to deal with those, so I just like
Mhm.
undid everything so I had no notifications. I would just hunt, no gathering stuff, anything like that. So trying to get back into that
Right.
mentality. Although there isn't yet any sort of new gems, it's all sort of going back and doing the same meldings. Although now there's quick
Yeah.
melding. Have you ran into that yet? The quick melding?
I don't think I have. No.
So you can
I I recently
immediately.
just unloaded a bunch of my I think Defender level 9 tickets
Yeah,
into just the last one, the mysterious meld or whatever.
yeah, yep. I'm gonna probably hold off on more melding until we get some better skills. Have you got to utilize a bunch of the 4 slot gems yet or not? Because like my armor set has 3 of them, and once I was using one, and I actually had to farm to use the second one. But the third one is just a dumb skill that I don't care about. Like,
Not quite yet. No.
okay,
Uh, still need to still need to get some of the more of the monsters down to be able to get that. Um, or at least ones that are useful to me.
sure,
Because I think on on my set, I have a 4 slot, but I slotted in like a hard defense jewel or something like that,
yeah,
which is like a 2 slot. So it'll probably take a little bit more before I start seeing some value out of that.
okay. So okay, um, so again with just the 3 new monsters, and obviously master rank of stuff. How do you feel about the equipment and stuff so far? Is it interesting or is it all kind of just like eh? Because
I'm liking it. I mean, I have a lot more varied of a set between species because, like, I've got 2 of the blood orange Bishaton pieces on me. Quick pop in.
I mean I was full Baroth and then I went to change one thing, and that's
Yeah,
it
because
so
I've got
far.
Bone Helm X, Orangutan Male Embraces, Actosomp Coil X, and then Roggy Greaves.
Yeah,
So it's definitely a lot more varied up than just like Rathalos helm, and then like Nargacuga mail braces, coil, and greaves, which is what my old set was.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I mean for me, it's four. It is 4 and 1, and that's the way it is right
yeah,
now. Although I do want to make the Garen Golem set. Like I looked at the armor
mm-hmm.
after having fought it, and it's got this new skill that applies a higher elemental damage for charged attacks, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, oh my, yes.
Well, I was I think I was using the, or maybe not the. I think I might have been using a poison greatsword, but um, I mean I've got the Kezu greatsword on right now, and I've got like 2 or 3 levels of thunder jewels added to it, so it's got like 68 thunder attack added to it. So like, yeah, that would probably pretty significantly beef up that elemental attack
Yeah, and
past what it already is.
that's kind of what I was excited about. It's like it was the first new skill I saw, period, and I was like, okay, cool. And it's for greatsword, so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Well, it's for anything that charges, so hammer,
Mm-hmm.
bow, anything like that. So I don't know. I'm excited to craft some new armor and stuff, but I'm kind of taking it slow right now. Because I always do this. I always do a full clear of a star before I move on. Like I did all of M2
Mm-hmm.
before I got into M3. You know, I'm not trying to rush to get to the end of the game. Although I'm hearing there's some good M game mechanics. I didn't hear what they were. But
Mm-hmm.
again, Super Ride had a good review. He talked about end game mechanics that they exist, you know, and I don't know what they are, what they do, but you know, he was just now getting into it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited going forward into the game. So my initial impressions are very high so far, but you know, I still want to see more. I still haven't seen anything we didn't see in the advertisements yet, and I'm hoping there are some things. I don't know if there
Mm-hmm.
are. Um, I haven't seen any leaks or spoils or anything, so I have no idea what's in here. I'm just seeing as it
Yeah.
comes. And at M3, I've got no surprises yet, so we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. Um, I'm definitely excited for when we finally get to Thorny Boy. So
Yeah, Thorny Boy is not. Yeah, I bet you he's the next star. I bet you a lot of things are next star because I don't see there being like 9 levels of M. I couldn't imagine.
I'd be
Maybe.
perfectly fine with
I
that.
mean, I would be too, but I'm thinking realistically. I don't think we're going to see that much. I'm thinking 6 at most. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but who knows? I'm this is all guessing at this point. You know, we're not far enough in the game to know that information yet. And maybe we do by next week. I don't know. I have a lot of days off because family stuff
Mm-hmm.
and 4th of July and stuff like that. Like I don't have the kids 4th of July,
Yeah.
so it's just a holiday of just me here.
Also, I'll probably be getting a another canvas print at some point
Okay.
because if you remember, I got the canvas print of the monster scroll,
Yep.
and now we have it going sideways. So I've been thinking I might end up for the game room whenever we're able to finally get the entertainment room when we're able to get that back room cleared out. Might create like a wall piece where um, I have 2 square canvas prints.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Kimura sigil, the sort of shuriken, and then the other of the sort of ship-looking one for Sunbreak. Have those be the 2 corner pieces. Then have Sunbreak's side go along the corner for whichever one I put on the bottom. Then have the Rise one going in the corner, and then have 2 additional square or rectangular prints for the drawing, the sort of art drawing of Kamara, and then one of the outpost. Is it called the outpost?
There's a name to it. I can't remember right now.
Whatever place we're in right now.
Yeah. I did do some. I haven't done a lot of sword searching yet. I have found probably 4 swords in the jungle, none in the Citadel, because there was only one quest in the Citadel. I haven't even discovered all the Citadel
Um,
map.
I after completing Garen Gulm, I went and did an expedition tour. Uh, I've got about half of the jungle, and then um, I've got like 2 of the Citadel, and I like gave it like a good hour of like just exploring the map and going through the clouded up areas. So
Wow.
might have to do some real spelunking and or aerial trickery to get those
I would say the one that
remaining
was the
like
hardest
7 to 8 swords.
the flooded forest was probably the most difficult to find them all, because so many
Mhm.
just like cave and a wall you just don't see at a certain angle kind of deals.
Oh, there's a lot of those in the jungle and in the Citadel.
Oh yeah,
The
I
jungle
understand.
has so many like holes in like
Yeah, and
cliffside walls that you would not
I've
expect.
been through so many of those, and I have found a sword in those once. Like I was like, there's got to be a sword. Nope, no sword. Got to nope, no sword. I've found a couple, but they're like, I don't feel like I've explored all of the jungle yet. Like I don't feel like I've done a deep search, but I feel I've explored
There's
most of it, right? Like
yeah.
super most of it. And I'm like, I'm sitting I think it's 4. I think I have 4 swords. And
Did you get the one that's way at the tippy top tree?
yep, it's one of the ones I have. I've got the
Yeah,
island.
that one was kind of frustrating for me because
It's hard to get up there.
there's like those fungal platforms that you can get onto,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be careful about it because
You
there's
can
no
overshoot.
surface. It overshoot. Often ended up overshooting by my character's momentum, just carrying him off the edge
Yeah.
anyways. Um, and then at times, the bane of having evade extender 3 is that you can
Oh yeah.
overshoot or just launch into things with far too much momentum, and it may seem like you'll just hit a wall, but you'll like hit a wall and then just like glance off
Sure.
like a freaking
It's
pinball or
actually
something.
usually a speed run tactic to sort of glide along a wall because it makes you go faster in certain game mechanics. Like they were using it in the
Mm.
Spyro speed run I saw recently. So I could imagine doing that in Monster Hunter, being like, "Oh, I got it," and then you barely hit the wall and just go wee, like no. Oh man.
Yeah, so no, there's definitely a lot more spelunking. I know that there's with the great wire bugs, there's like a little mini island to get to
Mm-hmm.
that you can only get to with the great wire bugs, sort of like that circular place in the Frost Islands,
Yep.
where you can either only get to it if you have go up from the bottom and you have like 3 to be able to get up to it, or if you climb up the mountain and take the great wire bug that shoots you down into it.
Yep.
It's one of those weird like very
It's a chain.
selective ones.
It's a chain of 3 that starts with you blowing something up. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like there's like a log or something that has like rocks on top of it. Yeah, I think I found that, but I didn't have any barrel bombs with me at the time, so I was like, all right, I'll have to come back later.
Yeah. That's why I now carry barrel bombs in my loadouts. Um. Okay. So I don't want to. I don't want to. I feel like there's not much to say with as little as we've got into yet. Like we're starting, but I don't think we've hit the meat of Sunbreak yet. Like I don't. I feel very beginner in it, even just having down to Garen Golem, which was a fun fight. I actually, to be honest, and I was saying this while I was fighting him to the girls because they were in there with me. I think he's my
I would say
favorite Sunbreak monster so far.
Garen Gallman is a nice chili before the meal. So far we've had a salad and a soup in the form of a chili
Yeah.
and some breadsticks, and now we're going to start getting into the meat and potatoes, so to speak.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk too much more about it just because I feel like I'm still uninformed. You know what I mean? Like I'm having a good time. I think it's great. I do want to be surprised. I hope we're surprised by some monsters that didn't show up. But
Um, Although I will say, uh, of the Citadel, I think it's interesting how it has sort of different elemental zones.
yeah,
Although I was kind of surprised by the one area that is essentially like a pond or a lake of tree sap that it doesn't slow you down at all.
yeah. I walked into it and I was like, this is just water. What? Oh, I thought there was gonna be like
Yeah,
acid or something for some reason. Like it was gonna take away my health. Like
yeah, because you can look up and you can like see it like pouring out of the trees and stuff, and I'm like, oh, is this maybe gonna slow you down? No, it really doesn't. And I was like, but that would have been like an interesting mechanic to the fight if you're fighting in this area, is that it slows both you and the monster down.
probably too hard to do,
But
honestly.
yeah,
That might have been the idea. And then they were like, can't figure this out to make it fun. And I could see like that being the problem. Like I could see that because
yeah.
they're very hesitant to alter hunter movement. They always have been. I think the closest they came,
Bring back water.
I think the closest they came recently was the deep snow in Iceborne,
Yeah.
and basically just muck. Oh yeah, also side fringe benefit of having Baroth armor, Gerothados was just freaking easy because like he lays that new trail of mud, and I'm in Baroth armor, so I have muck resistance full just by having the armor. So I was just like, oh yeah, that
Mhm.
would have been annoying. It's not. I just walk through it like it's nothing now because the full muck
I mean,
resistance.
I mean, he's pretty tameable with lightning element, anyways. So
I mean, yes, I know, but I thought it was funny. It's like, oh, he's got a new move that I literally don't care about because of Baroth.
yeah.
Oh man. So I think that's all I have to say about it tonight. Ace, do you have anything else to add before we wrap up?
Not really. I just want to get back to
Playing.
playing and probably do some hunts with people.
Okay. Cool. So next week we're going to go back to our usual schedule. We're going to have a news week. Um game news and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we're still going to talk Sunbreak next week. You're probably going to hear about it till your ears fall off, and Sasha will have to put up with it more directly next time. But so yeah, we're it's exciting to be on a new release. I didn't talk about the Flesh and Blood stuff that I got, but like I got 2 full cases of Flesh and Blood and I opened those Friday too. Um,
Hmm.
Second box or is it first or second box? I think it's the first box. Had a $200 card in it. So that pays for out of the 8 boxes, it pays for almost 3 of them.
Are you actually selling it though?
I will be selling a lot of it, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not kidding, yeah. I mean, I don't need all of it that I got. I got a lot of it
Yeah.
to not just it's weird because like I will end up selling those the one to $200 I probably won't sell, and the reason being is I want to use that card. It is going in a
Uh-huh.
deck, and but the other stuff because it's weird because it's like a super extra alternate art thing versus the usable card which is still expensive, and I got
Hmm.
3 copies of the usable card. So I'm going to
Right.
be selling those because you can only use one of them in your deck. So, and they're only useful for one deck. So
Fair enough.
we'll see. I don't know how much I'm going to get back on it. but it's probably going to roll back into whatever next set. I'm just going to, keep it going, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, also got to say, glad to see Master Utsushi hasn't changed his ways and is still hiding in high places in the new
Yes.
town that we've moved to. I don't know if you've seen him, but I'm like,
I
oh,
have.
you sneaky boy.
Yeah, I've seen him. There's a quest or a side quest to take pictures of 3 cahoots in the city.
Hmm.
And I was searching for the 3rd cahoot because I just couldn't find it. There's your cahoot that follows you around.
Yeah, I'm not finding it right now.
I can tell you because I
So,
found it.
because I know there's obviously the Kahoot that our Kahoot that follows us everywhere, and then there's the snow one that's in the main area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, third, I have no clue other than it could possibly be one flying around.
Nope, I know where it's at. Do you want to know? Or no?
Sure, why not?
It'll take some exploration, but you know where he's hiding on that big rail track? You can actually get on top of that giant spin or the corkscrew up. There's a landing pad up there. And there's a baby cahoot in a nest that you can feed. And that is the last one.
I swear I saw that at some point.
Yep, that's the one you got to take a picture of.
Okay.
Yeah, I was up well past when I should have been asleep last night, just searching for a cahoot. So yeah. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. I know it's a little shorter on the Monster Hunter talk, but again, we're just getting into the game. You know, it's exciting to fight some new monsters, but especially Garen Golem. But there's a lot more to get into. A lot more. We're a lot further behind than probably most people listening. So we'll next week we'll have a better fleshed out opinion, I believe. I'm gonna get a lot of time in this week probably. Just because of the holiday and that kind of stuff. Of course, like I said, we got a lot of family stuff going on, so that may cut into it somewhat, but understandably so.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see when we get there. I suspect Ace, you'll probably be trending past me to begin with. I don't feel like I'm gonna have a ton of free time eventually, but we'll get there. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll catch you next week. Be sure to catch us on Twitter at HuntersHubPod on Twitter, and Ace is at Ace Badger Gaming. And be sure to join the Discord. Very lively discussion about the ease of games as time goes on in the Discord before we started the episode. That I was like, man, I'd love to jump in on this conversation, but we're getting ready to record. So yeah, some good Monster Hunter talk in there, as well as some other games. You know, we've talked about many other games, and so yeah, hop onto the Discord, which you can find. I think it's public, and you can just find it. So Hunter's Hub, and then also you can always just ask Ace or I for it. So there you go. And have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye.